Good morning, everybody. So great to be here with you. This has been one of the steady sort of anchors of my life the past few years. We got to know each other, many of us, in those deep, dark early days of the pandemic, and then grew as a community, found ways to treat our body and our mind well from our home. And then as the world has changed and opened up and sped up again and all those things, this has been a great community for me to return to from my home and to feel like there's sort of continuity in my life. So if you know me, welcome back. If you don't know me, I'm Coach Mike. I've been doing this now for a few years. It's a chair movement meditation class. We draw on certainly yoga in some ways, but Qigong as well, and just mindful movement practices. And we bring all that together for a beautiful way to start. Often our Wednesdays, sometimes our Saturdays, whatever day we happen to gather. It's always good to be together. I like a sort of basic structure for my class. We'll start off with some slow, sort of flowy warm-up movements. Then we'll do 2 rounds of seated exercises, and we do that Tabata pace that I always mention. 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest for each exercise. Just about that 2-to-1 work to rest ratio is really solid for any movement you're going to do in your life, any exercise. It's a great way to put together any sort of a workout. Then we'll move to standing. We'll use the chair for support in front of us, and you sort of adapt. I'll mention that word in a moment again. You sort of adapt the movement to what is most comfortable for you. So even if you want to stay seated and you're not feeling super warm or mobile this morning, there will be variations for you to do. If you want to remove the chair and do the exercises fully on your own without any sort of nearby support, that's fine for me as well. And then we'll end with a 10 or 15 minute or so meditation period, and I'll talk you through that. I use a different few styles of meditation, and I'll talk you through that and hopefully be able to share the other kinds I do in other classes in the future. I like to think of this class having sort of 3 pillars. Gentleness. We're always being gentle with our body. We do push our bodies at times when our body is inviting us and ready, and our body is saying, hey, I'm ready to work a little harder today. Then we definitely push it, but we always start from that place of gentleness with ourselves, with our mind, and then hopefully that goes out into our world where we can certainly use more gentleness often. Connected to that is sort of a second pillar I like to think about: adaptability, what I was just mentioning before, adapting the movements to what you need on your side of the screen. So I'll give you a basic movement that we're going to do, and then you ramp up or tamp down the intensity as it feels good for you. So you could always clench those muscles a little more. I'm going to talk a lot about the mind-muscle connection. You could bring your mind to your muscle and really squeeze those muscles hard, and that's going to make for a better workout. If you're not feeling as warmed up, squeeze a little less hard. You can increase the speed with which you do things, how many reps you get in. You'll see a lot of ways to adapt the movements to what you're feeling on your end of the screen. We want to encourage and push our bodies a little bit, but not into pain or discomfort or something that's going to hurt or compromise our health. This is supposed to be a support to our health. This is supposed to help us feel energized and renewed. And so that third piece, the third pillar I like to think about, is mindfulness. All throughout, we certainly do a mindful period at the end, really focused mindfulness practice, but all throughout we're listening to our body, observing our body, listening to what a great teacher of mine calls the whispers of the body. Your body's always telling you, okay, I'm ready to go a little further, or I need to take this a little bit slower now. And learning to listen to what your body is saying to you and having a conversation with that is one of the key pillars of the class and one of the lessons we learn. So we have a little conversation with our body. Okay, I know you're feeling a little slow right now. Let's ramp it up and let's get warmed up to be a little more intense in a moment. So those are the big 3 to think about: gentleness. Be gentle with your body and your mind all throughout. Forgive yourself. Have compassion on yourself. Let that go out into the world. Adapt the movements to what you need today. Each day is different. You might be feeling a little more sore or beat up today. You might be feeling a little bit free and ready to move today, whatever it is. And then mindfulness, listening all throughout to our heart, our mind, our body, each muscle where we're focusing on bringing our mind there, that mind-muscle connection. And as always, in addition to those three pillars, another certainly big foundation is having a good bottle of water near us. Making sure to stay hydrated throughout is crucial. Start drinking before you get thirsty. Listen to that whisper when your body says, "Oh, I'm getting a little parched here." That's when we start hydrating, not after we get really thirsty. So it seems like we have we're back into some warm weather today. I was just outside. It's really lovely out. We had those couple hot days a few weeks back, but it feels like we're maybe finally into a real spring here. So go outside later today, get some sun, stay hydrated. It's going to set you up well for a beautiful spring and a great Saturday. So again, we got our warm up, slow, flowy, at your own pace movements, 2 rounds of seated exercises, 2 rounds of standing exercises, meditation period at the end. We're going to have a great day, and that's going to get us set up for success on this Saturday. Okay, so with that, we'll jump right in. Again, we're going to do 5 sort of flowing movements, trying to link up the breath with our movement. That's a big concept in yoga and qigong, and certainly what we're doing here. And that's how we'll get started to get warmed up. So our first movement is actually coming out of the qigong tradition. It's called the crane stretch as it swings. So we're going to sit nice and tall, sit towards the front of our chair, feet flat on the floor, our core is engaged, our shoulders are down and back. That's where everything starts from. We're keeping mindful posture all throughout. And then we're going to do a linked up breath and arm movement. So we're going to inhale, big inhale, reach up overhead. And then as we turn to the side, we lower our arms with an exhale. Come back to center, inhale, expand, arms overhead, exhale out to the other side. So nice flow with this, deep breath in, arms up overhead, exhale out to the side. Flow with this on your own for a few reps. Big, deep breath, stomach expanding on the in-breath, contracting on the out-breath. Think in-breath expansion, out-breath contraction. In-breath expansion, out-breath contraction. Get the fingers and the wrists involved here. Spin the wrists around, wiggle the fingers as you rain down your arms. Couple more here on your own. Great starting movements. Try to reach further around to the side each time you go. Starting to prep the body for deep, more intense movements. Getting the breath moving. Two more here together. Excellent. Pause there. In between each movement, we come back to center. We return to that mindfulness. If we've gotten distracted, we always bring our mind back to our posture, feet on the floor, hands in between can be resting on our lap, gently resting on our legs, gently in our lap. And then we reset, refocus, and we get ready for the next movement each time. And we'll pick up the intensity as we go. So we are part of a library community here. I like to bring some real world sort of movements into our warm up. So we're going to do some book stacking. Imagine you got a big old stack of books on a cart right to the side of you. You're going to grab one, put it up on a shelf, grab the other, reach across. You could reach out to the same side, just sort of improv with it. Put the books down below, reach out to the side. Very improvisational movement. Just have some fun with it. Reaching, grabbing a book, putting it down low, just getting movement going, having some fun with it. Try to get some cross reaches in there. Try to go at different heights in the middle, down low, up high. Reach up really high, reach for that top shelf right overhead. Get a couple going up there. Good, and pause. Okay, so I like some of those improvisational movements. Have fun with them. Reach for a direction, a place, a style you've never thought before. Even if you reach back behind you and put a book up there. Get funky with it, have some fun. Teaching your body, allowing your body to do movements in a different way than you have before is a great sort of way to keep your body fresh and feeling lively. It's little tips I've been taught over the course of my life. 1 week at a time, maybe change up which hand you brush your teeth with or something like that. Just changing up those basic patterns will introduce variety of movement into your life and keep you feeling a little fresher, a little more easygoing, natural movement. So our next one, we're going to start to go down low here to warm up our legs. And we're going to extend our feet out, heels on the floor, toes pointing up to the sky. We're up towards the front of our chair. We're going to inhale up overhead. Exhale, we're going to come down into a double leg hamstring stretch. We're going to hang out here for a minute or so. Just a nice passive, gentle stretch. Lower back warming up, hamstrings, glutes, calf muscles warming up here. Just getting a light stretch going. Let's come up halfway. Put your hands on your thighs. Try to get your back flat again, your chest out, your shoulders down and back. Inhale, exhale, go a little deeper. You could try to reach down to your toes, try to reach underneath your calves, grab your socks or the lower part of your pant leg. Just try to go a little deeper here. You don't need to be making eye contact with the screen. In fact, you want to keep your neck and your back sort of neutral. I'm just looking up to check myself out sometimes and see how I look from your perspective. But you're keeping that neck flat, neutral, happy. Let's come up halfway once more. Deep inhale. And then exhale. Exhale, coming down deeper into the stretch once more. Inhale, walking yourself back up. You could use your arms to get back to center. Again, returning to our good posture here. Our next movement, we could think of two variations here, depending on how you feel about it. We're going to either be testing a present to see what that present is. So we're going to reach up to one side and sort of shake around over here and shake around over here. Really, I was inspired last night. I went out to dinner. It was Cinco de Mayo. I saw some bartenders, some service industry folk working very hard. And I said, oh, that's a really good exercise to maybe bring into class. Some little shaking, some vibration warms the whole body up. So let's just get over here. Let's just shake it out over here. Move one hand forward, move the other hand forward. Keep that posture engaged, that core is engaged. We're not slumping over, we're nice and tall. Feeling a stretch through this left arm here, whichever arm you got forward. Switch it around. Let's come over to the other side. Sitting tall, breathing deeply, core engaged. Let's come back over here to the right once more. Let's come over here to the left. Good. Excellent. Return to center. Lock that core in, shoulders down and back. That's the mindfulness piece of our workout here. Always reminding ourselves of our good posture, keeping our mind in tune with the movement. That's teaching us mindfulness all throughout. Last movement to get warmed up here, starting a little bit more active movement. We're going to do toe taps. So you'll just pick 3 locations, reaching out, left, center, right, and we'll just go through those with each leg for 20, 30 seconds each. Let's start that movement together. Here we go. Left, center, across, right. Left, center, cross, right. Good posture throughout, deep breathing. Let's switch to the right leg now. Right, center, across, left. Good, and pause. Nice little warm up there. I always say this, but take those warm ups. Do one of those warm ups every morning. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Shorten the movements, lengthen the movements. Do it in the morning. It'll get you feeling good and loose. Get a lot of oxygen in your body. I'm cracking a little bit of a sweat already. Light movement built up over time gets our body feeling good, loose, ready to rumble. So now we are ready to rumble. We're going to move to some more vigorous seated exercises here. So we're thinking about increasing the squeeze on our muscles as we do these, increasing the pace, increasing the intensity to start to build up our workout here. We peak with those standing exercises. Then we have a nice, relaxing mindfulness finish. So we got 5 movements out of our chair. I'll introduce them, then we'll run them for 2 rounds, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. And then we'll get us moving. So first we're going to do swimmers. Okay, so we're sitting nice and tall, moving, nice swim movement. If you know other swim movements, you can certainly incorporate those. I don't know much about swimming. This is all I could do, but it feels good on my shoulders, keeps my core engaged, makes me feel good. Next up, we're going to do knee press-ins. So we'll sit towards the front of our chair. We're going to take our fists, put them between our knees. We're going to squeeze our knees. You could sort of pulse that for 8 seconds on, 2 seconds off over the 40 seconds. You see what your body could handle. This is where you have that adaptability. You can squeeze hard for all 40 seconds if you want. Pulse it for 5 seconds at a time. You feel out the movement, see what feels good for you now. Then we're going to do overhead alternating shoulder press. So we're going to press overhead, really bring that mind in connection with those shoulder muscles, squeeze those shoulder muscles. Hard, but not to the point of discomfort. Squeeze in a way that feels good. Next up will be leg extension with twist. If you're still getting warmed up, you could just do leg extensions for now and then throw the twist in maybe in the second round. So that's another example of that adaptability. Keep it a little simpler for now. We'll get more complex, difficult later. 5th movement is going to be alternating reach over with a wide out. Okay, so wide out. Go like this, 40 seconds, reaching up overhead. Good full body movements here. Let's get ready to go into it. We got swimmers, knee push-ins, shoulder press, leg extensions, reach overs with a wide out. And we'll start into that in 3, 2, 1. So we're doing swimmers for 40. Again, experiment with the movement, improv with the movement a little bit, get wider out, get closer in, tighter strokes, bigger strokes, slower strokes, faster strokes. Play around here. This is playful, getting our body feeling nice and happy. A few more seconds here. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds of rest. I'll talk through the break so that you know what's coming up next, but you're gathering yourself, you're focusing yourself, regathering that posture, ready for the next movement. And our next movement is going to be those knee press-ins. So we've got our fists together in between our knees, pressing in, squeezing in with those thigh muscles, and pulse it as you want over the course of the exercise. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to squeeze for 8 seconds at a time here. So take a 2-second break. A little break, squeeze in again. Little break, squeeze in again. Little break, squeeze in once more. On the next set, if you want to do 20 seconds, little break in 20 seconds or so, that could work. If you could go for a whole 40, that'd be great too. We'll pause for now. That's our second exercise. And again, yeah, you could increase how hard you squeeze, how long you're squeezing for. That's the adaptability piece on your end. You learn your body, learn what your body needs at what moment it needs it. So our next movement is going to be overhead shoulder press. We're sitting nice and tall. Let's start into this together in 3, 2, 1. So imagine there's a weight in your hand, pushing up overhead. Alternating reps. Squeeze those tricep, those arm muscles. Squeeze the forearms. Squeeze the shoulders. The back should be involved here. Core is stabilizing us, keeping us nice and upright. We're working for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. My breath is getting heavy now. Sweat's definitely cracking, feeling good. I'm pushing myself further, getting more intense with the movements, feeling nice and happy. We got one more vigorous movement here, alternating reach over with a wide out with the leg. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Reach over, wide out. Reach over, wide out. Again, pacing is important here. If you're feeling already pretty worked and feel a little stretched, take it slower. If you want to push yourself further, you could speed it up. You could, how far are you reaching out? That's another piece you have in your control. Play with the movement, pay attention to your body, listen to your body, see what it's telling you. Stay with it for 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. A little bit longer of a break now, maybe. Good time to grab some water. We want to stay hydrated throughout. We're not trying to catch up on our hydration. We want to stay in a steady state of healthy hydration. Okay, we'll gather ourselves. One more round of these seated exercises. We'll go to standing. We've got our meditation mindfulness experience at the end. Okay, let's start into swimmers in 3, 2, 1. Again, if you know other swim movements, if you could do a sort of breaststroke, maybe that's fun for you. Yeah, that feels good for me right now. Play around with it. Have some fun. Imagine you're in the water. Feel the water on your body. Whatever's the perfect temperature for you. Feel that light resistance. If you want to come back to the first version, this is about fun, movement, energy, engagement today. Pause in 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a break here. You gather yourself. Knee press-ins are coming next. Again, maybe do longer holds now. Can you go for 12 seconds at a time, 15 seconds? Do you control that on your end? I'll leave it up to you. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go for 2 big holds here. I'll tell you when we get to halfway. My legs start to shake. There's a little tremble here. All good stuff. We're about halfway through. A little break. Stick with it through the end here. Three, 2, 1. Whew. That got me going. I hope it's doing the same on your side of the screen. Next up, in a few seconds, we got our overhead shoulder press. Again, imagine there's a weight in your hand, pushing up overhead. We'll get into that in 3, 2, 1. Back's engaged, shoulders engaged, core's engaged, feet are flat on the floor. Mindful attention to the specific movement we're doing, but also to our whole body. Notice, how do my toes feel on this? How do my feet feel? How do my calves feel on this? How do my legs feel? Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Great work there, everybody. Next up, after a little break, we got our leg extension with a twist thrown in. Another way to make it even more challenging, this is a really challenging version, is to do a double leg extension. That's really tough. So if you've been with me for a while, if you feel fit and mobile, maybe give that a try. But if it's not on the table for you today, just stick with the one leg version. We'll do that in 3, 2, 1. So core staying nice and tall. We're not slumped over. We're not crumpling on this twist. We're staying nice and tall and going only as far into the twist as feels comfortable. Good squeeze in the quad still. Feel that quad working. Five more seconds here. Push through the end. And pause. Great work there. One more movement. Start to pick up the intensity now if your body's feeling ready for it. We're going to move to standing exercises in a second. So this last very sort of vigorous movement, the reach over, full body movement, it's getting us primed to stand up and be ready for that. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Halfway there, stick with me. Bigger break coming up soon. Stay strong through the end here. And pause. Excellent. So we're going to move to standing in a second, and our first movement is actually going to be a squat to stand. So we could even practice one little rep now. We're nice and tall in our chair. Let's try to stand up just with our legs, and then we're going to stay up. We're going to return to that chair squat in a moment, but I'm going to adjust my camera and talk you through what we're doing next. Okay, so we're standing now. If your body says you want to stay seated for a little longer, you could do sort of similar movements to what we just did on the same pacing. You could adapt the movements we do. But if you're ready to stand up, we are standing up. We're going to use this chair for support and assistance throughout. That's our baseline. The chair is always in front of you. We're going to do squat to stand, so there will be behind you, obviously. But generally, I'll show you how we're going to move the chair, use the chair as part of our movement. It's there for support. It's there for stability. You got a little winded and you want to take a break. Well, you got something there to support you. But the more confident you feel, the more mobile you feel, the more ready you feel, you step away from that chair. I'm going to move the chair around so you can see the movement I'm doing, but you always remember that you got that chair right near you, and you use it in your space, whatever your space looks like, wherever you are, as feels best for you. So we got 5 movements. The first is going to be a squat to stand. So we're going to squat down and stand up. Okay, so we're using this chair. So many people get into and out of chairs in unhealthy ways. We sort of bend over, we reach back, all those sorts of less healthy body movements. We're going to practice a good seated squat, come up, and I'll throw in some variations there as well. We'll do that for 40 seconds. Then you'll come behind the chair. We're going to do standing swimmers now. Okay, so we'll do swimmers from there. You could always add a little bit of a crouch in if you want to incorporate the leg muscles a little bit more on that. So that's always available to you. Then we'll come to the chair. You could do sort of 2 variations here. I'm going to offer a kick over the chair variation. If that seems like a little bit too much of a stretch for you, keep that chair in front of you. You could do kick forward. And then you got your support and stability. So 2 options there. We're doing kicks, either kicks over the chair or kicks forward. Next movement, again, you could be behind the chair, a little bit of a crouch. We're going to do alternating pushaways. Extending through the spine, lengthening the spine. It's not about getting to full extension, but to lengthen the spine. And our 5th movement, using the chair, we're going to work on our balance. 40-second hold with the knee up at 90 degrees. I'll throw a few variations at you on that one as well. 5 movements. I'll talk you through them in the little breaks and as we're going. And you'll learn along the way what feels and works best for you. So our first movement is going to be a squat to stand. Let's get into that in 3, 2, 1. So just getting into and out of the chair in a good, healthy way. Chest is out, shoulders are down and back. Reaching and sitting back in a controlled motion. If you want a little extra work in here, you could come up into a calf raise. Takes a little bit of control, a little bit of balance. That's a little extra hard variation for you if you want to add that in. But if you're not there yet, if the balance doesn't feel strong, just stick with the squatting motion. Go for 3, 2, 1. Let me check something up here. Excellent work on that. We'll build up the intensity and pace next time. You're behind your chair now for support if you want it. We're doing swimmers. Again, you could throw in a little bit of a crouch here always. This horse stance, just a quarter squat, sort of half crouch there. And we'll do swimmers starting in 3, 2, 1. Again, same thing as before, playful. We got a warm day out here. We're all thinking of some summer swimming coming up soon, hopefully. You could throw a different movement in there. Sort of a breaststroke style, I think, but I'm not a swimming expert, so don't quote me on that. Come back to the alternating variation. It's a good dance move too. So if we're going to end up on the dance floor soon, well, you got a little swim move to throw in now as well. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Good. We're doing some sort of kick variation next. If you need the balance, have the chair to the side of you. You kick forward. If not, I like the kick over variation. That's a good one for me. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Get into a nice flow with it. So my opposite arm is linking up with the opposite leg here. So when I kick with the right leg, the left arm's up. When I kick with the left leg, the right arm's up. Five more seconds. And pause. Good. Again, this chair can be in front of you now. For balance, we're going to be doing alternating pushaways. There's a Qigong sort of specific version of this movement. The idea is not to be extending hard with your elbow. In fact, you want to leave that elbow just at about like 80-90% flexed. The idea is by pushing away, you're extending, lengthening your spine. So that's where your mindfulness is going, is to that spine. The shoulders are involved, the arms are involved, biceps, chest, back. But the real idea is to lengthen that spine out. So let's start together. We're in a little bit of a crouch here in 3, 2, 1. Slow flow here, almost to full extension, pushing down, pushing up. Not going to full extension, so we're lengthening that spine. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, one more movement. We're going to work our balance. We'll start on the left side of our chair. So the right leg's going to be up. Balance is super important. Developing our balance. So this is not going to feel like a super intense exercise, but it's a great one to finish on. It's going to work our core, our stability. The hope is to get to a 90-degree angle at your ankles, at your knee, hips, all those sharp sort of 90-degree angles. But if that's not working for you, you could do a little balance hold with your left leg. You know, use the chair as much as you need it. So that's where you can customize everything you do. Even if you just get your foot off the floor for 40 seconds, that'll be fine. Find the variation that's challenging for you, but that you could stick with for 40 seconds. That 90-90 is what we hope for, that 90-degree angle. But either kicking back is fine, getting up just part way is fine. Using the chair as much as you need is fine as well. So let's lock in together for 40 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Right leg's coming up. Again, you got that chair there for support. Wherever you are, we're just trying to hold together for 40 seconds. Another challenge variation is if you could close your eyes as you do it. That is sort of a higher end of the challenge there. So only attempt that if you're ready. Have that chair near you. We're holding hard for 10 here. And break. Excellent. Little longer break here, a little more than 20 seconds. Good time to grab a sip of water. Staying hydrated. Good. So we'll come back. We got our 5 movements again. Squat to stand. Throw that calf raise in there up at the end, if that adds a little extra challenge for you today. If you're looking for that, we got our swimmers. We got kicks, push-aways, finish balance on the other side. And then we'll have our meditation. So let's start in front of our chair. Nice controlled descent. Touch the chair. Stand back up. Get the quads involved, the glute muscles involved. Calf raise if you want. And at the end, starting in 3, 2, 1. One more rep to finish on the stand. Excellent. Okay, use that chair as you need for your confidence. We're doing swimmers next, a little bit of a crouch there to keep the quads involved. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Bounce around with it if you want. Get the full body involved. You can flow with the legs a little bit. And pause. Good. Next up, we're going to be kicks over the chair or kicks forward, depending on what you need on your end. Couple more exercises here. Stick with me. Stay focused, stay mindful, treat your body well, but push it through these last few movements. If you're looking to finish strong, we'll do kicks over in 3, 2, 1. And pause. Good, 2 more movements here. Next up is alternating pushaways. So going to almost full extension with the arms, slower movement here, really squeeze the muscles, get them involved, lengthen the spine. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Pushing heaven and earth away is the sort of Qigong variation. And pause. Last movement, balanced here on the other side, trying to pick the left leg up is the opposite of what I did. Do whatever is the opposite of what you last did. Going to try to get that leg to 90-90, but any variation along the way is certainly fine. The hope is to hold it for 40. So let's start in 3, 2, 1. Hold strong through the end here. And finish. Great work there, everybody. I invite you to grab a drink of water, start to slow the breath down, return to a nice, comfortable seated position in the chair. Excellent work. Okay. Now, part of the way of understanding, one way of understanding the yoga tradition is that all the yoga movements are the intention behind them is to prepare you to meditate, to relax the body enough so that you can relax the mind, so that the body is not distracting you so much, and that you could settle the mind. So that's the great sort of magic to this class. 45 minutes or so of movement, mindful movement. So we're always working the mindfulness, but hopefully you're feeling energized, the blood's flowing around your body, all the good sort of endorphins and dopamine that we get from working out, that's all released in the body. So the body's primed to sort of settle and relax. And we're going to do a version of meditation I find very useful. It's a movement meditation. It's called these days progressive muscle relaxation. Basically, we go through our body and we squeeze each of the main muscle groups for a deep squeeze and hold with our breath, and then we release the squeeze and the hold. So we're sort of just focusing on our breath throughout, bringing our mind to various muscle groups as we relax those muscle groups. So I'll talk you through this. We'll go for about 8 minutes or so, the movement, and then I'll let you sit at the end for a pure sort of breathing mindfulness period for about 2 minutes or so at the end, and there will be breaks throughout. So focus on your breath, relax, look up at me for the movement I'm asking you to do if it seems unclear to you. But basically we squeeze our feet, our calves, our hamstrings, our quads, our glutes, our core, our chest, our shoulders, and arms, our face, and our neck a bit at the end. So we go through each of those ones, do a squeeze and a hold of the breath. And this is a great thing to do sort of in the morning, at the end of the day, when you have a break at lunch and you need to relax, whatever is the right time for you. This is a great tool you could start to use on your own, and you could develop your own sort of version of it. So let's start by sitting forward in our chair. Meditation is a time to relax, but we do that by sort of focusing in. So we want our feet flat on the floor. We want to be engaged and alert, not uncomfortable or stiff, but upright and relaxed. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose. Allow the stomach to expand on the in-breath. Breathing fully out of your mouth. Deep breath in through the nose, stomach expands on the in-breath. Hold the breath for a moment. Gently release the breath out of your mouth, and the belly button returns to the spine. Let any distracting thoughts float away like a cloud on a summer day. And then I invite you to bring your awareness to your feet. And taking a deep breath in through your nose, I want you just to clench your toes, clench the arches of your feet, a comfortable clench. Squeeze enough that it feels like you're holding the tension, but not so much that you risk cramping or anything like that. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold that breath in along with the tension in your feet, and with a slow out breath, release the tension in your feet. And then I invite you to bring your awareness to your calf muscles. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, lift your heels up off the ground, flex, squeeze the calf muscles just a bit. Hold that tension and that breath for a moment. With a nice deep exhale, release the tension in your calves and let your heels fall to the floor. Continue to breathe in deeply through your nose. Your body is relaxed and your mind is clear and focused. Then I invite you to bring your awareness to your quad muscles, the top part of your thighs. And taking a deep breath in through your nose, I invite you to lift your feet up off the floor, flex the calves, the quad muscles. Hold that tension for a moment. And with a deep out breath, release the tension in your quads and let your feet fall gently to the floor. Then I invite you to bring your awareness to your hamstrings, the underside of your upper thigh. This might take a little sort of mind muscle practice to get the feel for how to do this just sitting here, but we want to clench those hamstring muscles on this step. And so taking a deep breath in through your nose, try to clench your hamstring muscles. Hold that breath and the tension for a moment. And with a deep out breath, release the tension and the breath. Moving up the body, we're going to bring our awareness to our glutes, the butt muscles. Again, might take a little focus with the mind to find how to connect to those muscles, but that's part of our training. And taking a deep breath in through your nose, clench the glute muscles. Big belly full of air. Hold the tension with the breath for a moment. And then when you're ready, release the tension along with the breath. Your body is settled and comfortable. Your mind is relaxed and focused. And then I'd invite you to bring your awareness to your core, the gut, stomach muscles, the lower back muscles. And taking a deep breath in through your nose, clench your core. Squeeze the ab muscles, the obliques, the side abs, the lower back. Hold the breath with the tension for a moment. And with a slow, gentle out breath, release the tension in all of those areas. Continue to breathe in peace and calm and relaxation. And I want you to bring your awareness to your arms, your forearms, your biceps, your wrist, your hands. Taking a deep breath in, clench all those muscles. You could look at me if you want the way I do this, but just find a way to clench the arm muscles. Take a deep breath in, hold for a moment, and then with a gentle out breath, release the tension and let your hands fall gently to your lap or to your legs. Bring your awareness to your shoulders and your neck. Taking a deep breath in, bring your shoulders up to your ears. Clench the shoulder, neck, upper back muscles. Hold for a few seconds and release with a deep out breath. And then one more movement. You could clench any of the muscles in your face, furrow your brow, wrinkle your nose, clench your jaw. Do that with a breath on your own. And when you're ready, release all the tension in your face, all the tension with your body in your body. Let it all go. And then sit here for a minute or so, feeling relaxed, focused, centered, energized. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. You could wiggle your fingers and your toes. Begin to return to full awareness in whatever room you're in. And then I'll come up to the camera and I'm happy to take any questions, observations, or thoughts. And it's been a great Saturday with you. I hope to see you more this summer, but it's always a joy being with Yonkers and the Nork.